Hello everyone, welcome back to the next session. So in the last class we discussed about 4-bit bus system by using multiplexers. Now in this class we are going to cover the same bus system by using a different device which is known as a three-state buffer. So we will firstly discuss about the three-state buffer, what is it and why it is required and what was the need to create the bus by using three-state buffer. Okay, so I will just tell you firstly what is a three-state buffer, and then we will discuss about all the things that how we are going to use it in the circuit. So this is a three-state buffer. Okay, so there is no difference between a simple buffer and a three-state buffer just if we don't have this enable line. So this enable line helps this three-state buffer to operate in a different fashion as compared to the normal buffer. So as you are aware that a simple buffer operates in a fashion that if input is 0, output is 0. If input is 1, output is 1. So this is the simple operation of a three-state buffer. This is the input, okay, and here we are having the output. Whereas in the case of a three-state buffer, there is only one added thing into the three-state buffer, that is we have a enable line with it. So this is enable, here is input, and here we have out. So if enable line is 0, whichever input we will give, our output will be high impedance. We call it as high impedance, which means it will not generate any output. Whether it will not generate an output of 0, it will not generate an output of 1. It will simply remain disconnected from the circuit. But if the enable line is 1, then we give the input of 0, output will be 0. If the enable line is 1, input is 1, output will be 1. So the only single difference which we are having, the difference between a buffer and a three-state buffer is it is when enable is 0, it is on high impedance, which means it will not be 0, it will not be 1, it will be simply disconnected from the circuit. Okay, so now this property which we are having for the three-state buffer, we are going to use it to construct a bus system. Okay, now let us see how this is going to work in a bus system. So if you remember, I'm just going to construct a single register in this. Firstly, if there are 4 bits, what is our first priority? If we want to read anything, we should be able to read the complete register A. This is another register B. So in the bus system, we should be able to read this entire register. Now we are going to do the same thing by using the three-state buffer, which was done earlier by the use of multiplexer. Now, if you know that multiplexer is requiring a very high complexity of the circuit, so multiplexer require number of gates to be implemented. It also require OR gate, NOT gate. Number of gates are required. Whereas if we are able to use a three-state buffer instead of using a multiplexer, okay, so then it will be a easy task to create that bus. Okay, now how we are going to do that, just we are going to use the same property of our three-state buffer. So first of all, let us assume that we are having a three-state buffer at this place. This is one buffer. Okay, now how it is going to operate, if this value is 1, then we are going to get the output, either it is 0 or 1. So this is its input line, this is the output line, and this is the enable line. Please remember these three things: input line, enable line, and output line. Okay, Now we will require a decoder in this as well. So we will be making one decoder to make it work as a bus system. Okay. So if we want to construct a 4-bit bus, we will need a 2 is to 4 decoder. So 2 is to 4 decoder will have input lines, I1, or you can say I naught and I1. Okay. Now if we are having 3 registers or 4 registers, I will just make all those 4. Okay. So this is register A, B, C, and D. Okay. So this bit will be known as A0, or you can call it as A1 as well as you want. Okay. So you can write it as A0 or A1. According to that, you are going to number them. Firstly, just take it A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B3, B4, C1, C2, C3, C4, then D1, D2, D3, and D4. Okay. So now our condition was that at one time we should be able to read one data. Okay. So I should be, oh sorry, the entire register. So that was our condition, that we should be able to read the entire register at one time. Okay. So now how we are going to connect them? You see this is the zeroth output, first, second, third, and fourth. Okay. So let me just construct the circuit for this. Some space between. Okay. So now how it is going to operate? Just connect all the outputs with the different, you can say, buffers which we are having. Okay. Now how this is going to work? See, at one time we are going to get one output out of these all. Okay. So if I connect all these outputs at a single place, so what will happen at one time, whatsoever input we are going to give at these places, one out of them will be activated at one time, because these are our two selection input lines for our decoder. Okay. So if I1 and I naught are 0 0, so this line will be active. Okay. If it is 0 1, then second line will be active. Like in this case, if 0 0 is there, first line, this line will be active. If it is 0 1, this line will be active. If it is 1 0, third line, 1 1, fourth line. Okay. So this is how it will be getting activated. Now, if I want to read the entire register at one time, so what we need to do is we will connect A1 here, B1 here, C1 here, and D1 here. So what does it mean? That if I give 0 0 input, A1 first bit will be read and we will get the output from this place. Okay. If we want to read the second B register's first bit, so we will need 0 0, sorry, 0 1. So then second bit will be read. If it is 1 0, third bit. If it is 1 1, fourth bit. So now if we want to do it for 4 bits, so what we need to do is we simply need to put a, this is one, this is another layer of it. all the buffers, and we simply need to connect these. And here this will be the A2 line, A3, A4, and A sorry A2, B2, C2, and D2. So for all we will be able to read the second bit. Similarly, we can do it for the third one as well. Third bit, if we want to read. So here will be A3, B3, C3, D3, and there will be a output at this place. Okay. Similar for next. Just connect these lines. Here it will be A4, B4, C4, and D4, and we are going to get a single output from this place. So now we are having four different outputs at this place. This is the output for all of our registers. So this is how we are now connecting A1 first bit here, second bit at this place, third bit for register A here, fourth bit for here. Similar for B1, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, C1, C2, C3, C4. Similar for D1, D2, D3, D4. So all are connected in this way. So this is a 4-bit bus, 4-bit bus using three state buffer. Okay, so this topic is creating a 4-bit bus by using three state buffer. Okay, now after this, if you want to expand, like if you need to read 8 different registers, what you need to do is you will just increase the size of this decoder. Currently it is 2 is to 4, then it will be 3 is to 8. Now if it is 3 is to 8, you are going to get 8 outputs from there, and different 8 registers can be read, like A, B, this will connect with A, this will connect with B, C, D, E, F line, G, and up to H. So then this will be the first bit of all. Then next you will be having A2, B2, C2, so and so on up to H2. So you will be able to join as many number of you can say registers you want by simply increasing a size of your decoder. Now, what is the overall benefit of using 4-bit bus system using 3-state buffer? It simply helps you to reduce the number of gates which we require. At this place you only need one decoder. Okay, rest all are simply the gates which you need. Whereas if we are using the same by using a multiplexer, we would need four different multiplexers. But in this case only one decoder is enough, and rest are only the three state buffers. So it helps you to reduce the cost, as well as it will also help you to decrease the cost of your production. Okay, so this is how a bus system you will be able to create by using a three state buffer. Now in your examination it might be possible that they can ask you a question like construct a 4-bit bus. Okay, so if it is simply construct a 4-bit bus, or construct a 8-bit bus, or simply construct a circuit which should be able to transfer 8 bits at one time, so then it can be either you can use three state buffer or you can use multiplexer. But if it is mentioned that you have to use three state buffer only, then don't use the other one. Don't create the circuit which we did in the last class. Okay, don't create that circuit. You have to do this one. This is a three state buffer, this one. And this bus system is 4-bit bus system by using three state buffer. So similar concept will be there. If there are 8 bits in one register, then it will become 8-bit bus system using three state buffer. Okay, so only difference between the normal buffer and three state buffer is the enable line. So enable line will not be present in the case of a normal buffer, whereas it will be present in the case of a buffer. Okay, now after this was a creation with the help of three state buffer. So we just last day we talked about one circuit, that if you want to transfer the data from register to bus, it is possible by sending the data from R to bus. Okay, so we did this operation. The reverse of it, if you want to send the data from, like, from bus to a register, so how we can do that? It is simply just by connecting a 2 is to 4 decoder with the load line of your registers, so which you can see in the diagram as well. Okay, so you are simply connecting the decoder. Now if I want to transfer the data from register R0 to R3, so what we will do, at this place we will select the value 1 1. So if we select Z is equal to 1 and W is equal to 1, so what will happen? The load line of R3 will be enabled and the data of R0 will be directly shifted to R3. So that is how we can transfer the data from one place to another when we are talking about the bus system. So this thing is going to remain same. Okay. So now next topic which we are having is RAM. So we will discuss this topic now a little bit, and then we will start with the main topic later on. So in RAM, what we have n input lines. N input lines means as many number of bits we have in the data. So those many number of lines will be there. Then here we have output lines. Here is the input. Then we have address lines, that is represented by K. Then we have read and write lines. Okay. Now these number of lines n and n will remain same. Means as many number of bits it can accept, those many number of bits it can send as a output. Means if this value is 6, sorry 8, this value will also be 8. And what will be the number of lines in K? K are the address lines, as we discussed earlier. These are address lines. Now, just I will just tell you an example. Like if we are having 256 words, so we will talk about these number of storage lines and everything later on. I'm just going to tell you how many words does a RAM store. Okay. Now, what is a word? In this case, when we talk about a RAM is having its content stored in this form. Okay. So this one thing, like this, is known as word. If there are 8 bits in this one row, then we will say that it is a the word length of this RAM is 8 bit. If there are 8 words here, if there are 16, then we will say that one word of your memory is storing 16 bits. This is known as one word. Okay, so this is word, and these are the total number of words. So if my RAM is containing like one word contains 8 bits, and there are 256 words, then what will be the total capacity of the RAM? There are 8 in one word, there are 8 bits, and there are 256 words in total in the memory. So what will be the total capacity of that memory? It will be 256 into 8, where this 8 represents how many bits are there inside one word, and this represent how many words are there. Words, and this is number of bits in a word. Okay, so this is 256 into 8. So how they are arranged? They are arranged in this way, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so then all the bits and words are there. If there are 256 words, so they are going to start from 0 and ending at 255. Now tell me how much of 2 raised to the power is 256. It will be 2 raised to the power 8, right? So 2 raised to the power 8 is 256. So let us just check it if you want. You can check that as well. 2 raised to the power is 256, right? So how many number of address lines are required will be 2 raised to the power 8, which is equivalent to 256, because this is starting from 0 and ending at 255. So how many address lines do we require to refer each value separately? Is 8. So this is where the implementation of decoder comes in picture. So now what we are doing, to refer all these 256 different locations, we are only using 8 bits. Because if you remember, if we make a decoder of size uh, 8 is to 256, how many number of input lines we need? 8. And how many output lines we have? 256. So now we are going to use the same concept here. We will be using a, if we want to refer all these 256 lines, we will be using a decoder of 8 is to 256, which will help me to control or to refer all these different 256 locations by just using 8 different bits. So we will be able to refer, like this is 000, this is 001, this is 2, this is 255. So how we, if we want to refer this first bit, so how I will be able to refer it like this: 000000001. Okay. Next, if I want to refer this, Sorry, this was the first one. To refer the second one, 000000001. Next, and when we reach at this 255, it will become like 1 1 1 1 1 1 and 1. So this will be zeroth, this will be 255. And how many lines do I need to refer all these? Are just 8, 3, 6, and 2 to refer all these locations. Okay, so this is where your decoders are also implemented. So you are going to use those decoders which will be helping you to refer all these addresses by using just less number of bits. So we are using 8 bits only to refer all the 255 locations. So this was something about what are address lines, how do you require the address lines, and what will be the size of those address lines. Then what is a write operation? Write is simply if you want to write, your system will issue this command or enable this line. If it wants to read from RAM, then again it will refer or it will enable this line, read line. N are the words, generally the number of words in a single word. So in this case, if 8 bits are stored in one word, so this n will refer to 8. If there are 16 words stored in one RAM chip, then this n refers to those. Okay, now it might be possible that how many number of lines do you read or write at one time? Like if your memory is sending two words at one time, then these lines need to be 16, because at one time one word is containing 8 bits and it sends out two words at one time, so then this n size will increase. Otherwise, generally what happens is whatsoever is the second value in the calculation, that is 8, so that is generally the number of lines. Okay, so you can see there are n input data input lines and n data output lines, k address lines, and a read control line and a write control line. When we talk about rom, rest everything remains same, just we don't have this write line present in the case of rom memory. Rest all the concept remains same. The only difference is it doesn't have a right line. Then this will become a ROM if it doesn't have the right line. Only difference is this. Hopefully you understood it. Thank you so much for your time. So we will start with the next topic in the next class.